it's recording. What the hell happened? It is recording. Oh my God. Good way to start off a new podcast. Friggin' figures. Anyways, hello. Welcome. This is the new podcast. Shaner'S Rant. Shaner'S Rant. So, we started off like, was the taxpayer, which was not original. That was not an original name. Then I became Shaner the Taxpayer, which I still might do a podcast called that, because I'm not sure about this new concept or not. Because, you know, still, I'm basically going to be talking a lot about politics, but at the same time, I'm sick of it. It's like this love-hate relationship thing that I've got going with it. It's like, enough already. It's like banging your head against the wall. It's like, hey, come on, people, are you really that stupid? You can't see what's going on, but they can't. Anyways, before I get into that, swig of fake beer for all you hard-working Canadians, no matter how you vote, how you live, what you call yourselves. We're all here trying to make it all happen. So yeah, I don't know. What I want to do with the Shaner'S Rant is, it could be anything. It could be angry coffee morning rants. It could be stoner rants. Could be having a few beers rants. Could be some music stuff. Could be politics. Could be pro wrestling, which I'm gonna do tonight. Could be whatever comes across my radar, because like I can't possibly be looking at every single thing going on in the world all day long, every single day. Like today's Sunday, and Sunday evening was at 7:26. So like an hour ago, I just found out about what happened with Trump last night. I was in radio silence. I didn't text anybody. I didn't go on anything. I didn't check out anything. No news, no nothing. I had enough stuff saved up for a podcast that, you know, like I could probably do 2 of them. And it's like, there's only so much stuff I can really watch in a day, in a week, and there's only so much a person can consume without getting dragged down by any one thing. Like, I love wrestling. I can't sit and watch it every single minute of every. It's too much. I watch clips. Unless, something really crazy goes on, which I do have some really crazy clips to show. I can't sit through it. They barely wrestled. It's all the acting and commercials and stuff. It's too many hours. I can't sit still through a movie anymore. So anyway, this is why it's called ranting, because I'm going off on another tangent. And this is why I have a pause button handy that you can all see right there. Click. Today was a gorgeous day, gorgeous spring day. It got up to 16 or 17 by like 5 p.m. today. Just nice day to try and putter outside. Everything I tried to accomplish did not work out at all, but that's okay. I just run into problem after problem with everything I wanted to do. But, there's Amazon right there. Oh, I need this. I need this. All I wanted to do for the past week is fill up I've got a tub in my studio that I use for my, what do you call it, cold plunge. And I've just been been trying to get a hose out here that'll reach because I moved it to another spot. And I got all these extensions, but long story short, they all need repaired to try and get it all out here. Fix one hose. Oh, now I gotta fix the other hose. Now I gotta fix the other hose. So hopefully by the time Mr. Taliban man comes tomorrow, I'll have all the right pieces, can fix the hoses, and I can fill my ice tub. And just got out of storage, sitting over here, an ice maker. I mean, it's perfect. Just make new ice overnight, dump it in. Oh, man. This is going to work great. I'm your Amazon man, pass me when no, that's not it. How's it go? I'm your ice cream man, stop me when you're passing by. That's what goes through my head every time I see the Amazon guy. I'm your Amazon man, stop me when I'm passing by. Woo! That would have been funny if I didn't blow the joke. I just had a quick look at my tub, and it's called the Good Luck Bathtub. It's kind of ominous. Good luck. You're wishing me good luck with my bath, or good luck that I don't drown? What is it? Don't make no sense. Anyhow, moving forward. First clip I want to play, I'm poaching. I'm poaching a lot from other people's podcasts tonight. But I feel this is very important. I'm going to play a bit from Glenn Beck's podcast, which I didn't know this guy existed, so I'm sorry about that. Apparently he's very popular and just not been on my radar. So, very intelligent. I agree with what he's got to say about Canada on this podcast. So I need to check out more of his stuff because I don't know anything about this guy. I've heard the name, but I didn't know what he was all about. So anyways, without any further ado, I've kind of skimmed it forward, and well, it speaks for itself. And this is an American point of view on Canada, and this is exactly how I feel, and I believe a lot of conservative voters feel about Canada at this point in time.
Okay. Let's start with the basics of any real democracy, and that's accountability. In 2021, Parliament discovered that a scientist in Canada's highest security lab had shipped live Ebola to the Wuhan Institute of Virology and collaborated with the Chinese military on bioweapons research. Kind of a big deal, right? Do we have anything like that? So what happened in Canada? The House ordered the documents 4 times. The Liberal Party blocked it every single time. They sued, they stonewalled, they even called for a snap election to kill the investigation. So what is that? That's rule of law being violated and separation of powers being violated. Remember, those are 2 out of the 10 things that you have to have if you're going to be a free nation. 3 years later, the Auditor General exposed the almost $400 million in outright corruption. But again, Parliament, the Liberals, shut it down. Accountability, independent oversight violated. Then Trudeau resigned. And 1/3 of 1% of Canadians, the elite inner circle, handed the Prime Minister's office to Mark Carney. They tried to do that here when they tried to hand the nomination, and did hand the nomination, to Kamala Harris. While this was happening, the House of Commons stopped sitting for 8 months. So Canada was governed by executive decree. No oversight, no debate, no votes. Where's your representation, separation of powers. Okay, that's not a democracy. That's rule by fiat. They weren't even in session. The elections, are they free and fair? CSIS confirmed China interfered in both 2019 and 2021, funding 11 candidates. Trudeau was briefed on this, and he did nothing. That's free and fair elections out the window. Liberal MP openly told people to collect a Chinese Communist Party bounty on a conservative candidate. No charges. Equal application of the law violated. The next election, 121 mail-in ballots went uncounted. In one, the vote was decided by a single vote. Elections Canada printed the wrong postal codes on the envelopes. In another, data entry errors, and that delivered a 327 vote swing to the Liberals. Trust in the election? Then 5 MPs flipped into the Liberal Party in 5 months, and convenient that it handed the elections to the now majority, a 2-seat majority to the Liberals. Democracy by design, or is it democracy by manipulation? Do we see any of this happening here? Because see, people blame this on the Republicans, but where are the Republicans in Canada? Why is this happening with progressive leadership all over the West? Once in power, they move to control what you see, what you say, and how you live in Canada. They invoked the Emergencies Act against the 2022 Freedom Convoy. They froze the bank accounts of protesters, their supporters all across the country. That's a silencing of free speech and assembly and property rights. 2 federal courts, including the Court of Appeal, ruled unanimous, unreasonable, unlawful, and a violation of charter rights to expression, assembly, and protection from unreasonable search and seizure. No national emergency existed. The government is still appealing to the Supreme Court, but the courts have already spoken. They acted without justification, and then they got away with it. That's judicial authority and rule of law. They passed a bill called C-18, the Online News Act. That forced Google and Meta to pay Canadian outlets for links. Meta blocked all news on Facebook and Instagram for Canadians. Google paid up instead of blocking, but the precedent was set. Government decides what information flows. Free press, information flow, controlled. That's not part of a free nation. Bill C-11, the Online Streaming Act, does the same thing to Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, forcing them under the thumb of Canada and their DEI quotas and Canadian content mandates. That's speech, that's cultural expression influenced by the state. That's not a free nation. They kept the carbon tax, despite 2/3 of Canadians opposing the increases. 2/3. Is that a democratic republic? They ended the visible consumer tax only to keep the hidden clean fuel regulations and industrial carbon tax quietly raising your fuel cost if you happen to be in Canada. Transparency, there's none there. They tried to mandate 100% EV sales by 2035, then replaced it with emission rules that achieve the same thing except through the back door. That's regulatory overreach. Property rights, optional. In Ontario, Bill 212 lets the province ram through highway projects, override municipal bylaws, and force property owners out faster. No property rights. In Waterloo, the government secretly used NDAs and
You know what? I'll end it there because I'm just totally plagiarizing his whole podcast. And I'll come back and do other pieces from it at a different time. So, not a single thing did Glenn just say is a falsehood. Not a single one. But people blindly vote for the Liberals. Here's an update. I have to look into this a little bit more. Apparently, with Marilyn Gladu, her constituents are taking her to court about the floor crossing. So I don't know anything about it. It just was breaking news the other day. I sent myself a note about it, and I haven't looked into it. So I think this is criminal. She even admitted that she was getting something out of it, and apparently within a couple of days of her crossing the floor, her township or area was granted $250 million or something like that. I'm not exactly sure about the amount. So that's bribery. So it's against the law. It speaks for itself. All these floor crossers, you know, you're not martyrs. You think you're doing the right thing, but you're not. And you'll go down in history on the wrong side of history. And moving forward, I'd like to bring to your attention the $200 million that was spent on our spaceport. Here's some video from the House of Commons. Hopefully I've got it queued up correctly. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, we're proud to be Liberal.
The Honourable Member for Okanagan Lake West, South Kelowna.
When you lease a new vehicle, you get a new vehicle. But when these Liberals lease a spaceport, all they got for $200 million was a gravel parking lot. Now, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that it's in a Liberal riding, or that the Justice Minister's former staffer was the lobbyist for the project, or that a former Liberal Premier is on the company's advisory board, or clearly no Liberal insiders are getting rich at all. Canadians only have one question, Mr. Speaker. Why are so many Liberal insiders getting so rich off of taxpayers on this boondoggle of a lease?
The
Speaker, the Canadians have a question, all right. Why are the Conservatives against rearming, rebuilding, and reinvesting in the Canadian Armed Forces? We're proud to invest in space capabilities, Mr. Speaker, including a space launch infrastructure. It's important for Canada to assert its sovereignty in space-based communications. This is one of a continuing series of generational investments to ensure both Canada's security and our sovereignty. They don't seem to understand, Mr. Speaker, 20% of the Canadian economy depends on satellites every day.
You can't launch it.
Member for Okanagan Lake West, South Kelowna.
Get that minister some rocket fuel. These Liberals are expert at paying a lot of for nothing. They've turned a gravel pit into a money pit. A former Liberal MP got $237 million for ventilators that went straight into the scrap heap. A Nova Scotia wind farm tightly connected to former Liberal MPs got a $206 million loan. Liberal insiders are making bank while too many Canadians are at the food bank. Mr. Speaker, when will a satellite be launched from our $200 million parking lot?
Yeah.
The Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying earlier, before I was so rudely interrupted, 20% of the Canadian economy depends every day on satellites. Whether we're ordering food at our front door, whether we're trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange, whether we are actually now mapping our agricultural products in the production system, whether it's about actually deploying AI for firefighting purposes, we need satellite capabilities. We need secure telecommunications for our Arctic, for our security, for our sovereignty. Guess what, Mr. Speaker? Despite the objections, we're going to build it.
The Honourable Member for Ottawa-Pontigny. Mr. Speaker, the Liberal...
Next week, the Liberals are set to release their fiscal update, and the Prime Minister is copying Justin Trudeau's playbook as he burns through more taxpayer dollars, goes deeper into debt, and piles even more inflationary spending on every Canadian family. After more than a decade, none of these Liberals have realized that the more they spend, the worse affordability is for everyone. The Bank of Canada confirmed last week that rising interest rates are directly tied to excessive government spending. So if the Prime Minister won't bother with this place, will he at least call his friends at the Bank of Canada and get his spending under control?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'd ask that member to table immediately a list of the cuts you would like to make, and we will look into that.
The Honourable Member for Thornhill.
The high-speed train, Alta, consultants, the gun buyback program. There's a number of them, and we can discuss those at length in the House. But the C.D. Howe Institute also said today that persistent Liberal deficits are, quote, undermining growth and living standards rather than supporting them. The thing that they very claim to do. Every dollar that the Prime Minister spends comes out of the pockets of Canadians. So when does all of that stop, and when is anybody over there held accountable for any of it?
The Honourable Governor.
Exactly. Bang on. Way to go, girl, lady, woman, you. $200 million on a parking lot that you couldn't launch a rocket ship from. You couldn't launch satellites into space from. Oh my gosh. You might be able to launch one of those, like, whatchamacallits, I can't think of the name of it. Drones. You could launch a drone off that, I guess. Come on. Seriously? And people are lined up at the food banks, and there's not enough food at the food banks, and people can't afford groceries, people are losing their houses, people are losing their jobs, and they spend money on something like that. Somebody's making money off that, and it sure ain't the public. For crying out loud. People, give your fucking head a shake. Anywho, moving forward, got another clip here. Investigation reveals Brookfield executives still have on-demand access to Mark Carney. So unless you've been under a rock, Mark Carney used to be the head of Brookfield, and technically he still is, because he's flying around the globe at your expense, making deals for Brookfield, exactly as he said he would in his book, that completely laid out exactly how he would do this. Read it, and you will know what he's doing, because he's doing it. Anyways, give this a listen.
That Canadians need to have confidence in their designated public office holders. We heard testimony throughout the course of our study. One in particular disturbed me, and that was the fact that the Brookfield CFO had a meeting with Prime Minister Carney, basically the ability to make a phone call, and he ended up in the Prime Minister's office, despite the fact that an ethics screen has been set up against Brookfield. So I think that should concern anyone, that there's that much access to the Prime Minister's office by people that a so-called ethics screen, and that's why we made one of the recommendations that the ethics screen actually should be applied by nonpartisan people, not by political staffers who are appointed by the Prime Minister to work under his command. As Mr. Hardy said, Mr. Sabia had made it very clear that he divested himself of his Brookfield assets so that he would not give the appearance, real or otherwise, that he was conflicted through his Brookfield investments. So you know, I'm not going to make any apologies for where I stood on this report, and I think it's a strong report. I also think that it can provide Canadians with a lot of confidence that the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Act is doing its job if these recommendations are in fact applied by the government, and revisiting the law as we did from 2014. This has been 10 years since this act has been reviewed. I think we modernized the act to provide confidence to Canadians that the act needs to be strengthened and needs to be modernized as well. And I'll make it very, I happen to believe that Canadians need to have confidence in their designated public.
Oh, I screwed that up. But anyways, so he's made it so that they have to update the rules, basically, because he's still too hands-on. And we knew that when he was in England. Easy for me to say, because he was staying in one hotel, and the next building over was a merger with Brookfield and another corporation. Imagine that happening. What a coinky-dink. Where's my pause button when I need it? And we're back. Where'd I go? Where was I? Did I leave? Yeah, I did. I'm back. And you're probably all wondering, what the hell is he wearing? This is my magic carpet, my hooded carpet. I got this thing a few years ago, and I love it. It's a little bit dirty. I slopped a bunch of grease, actually, on it. I used my new smoker. Anyway, long story short, won't even tell it. But this is my hoodie. Oh, look at this. This thing is warm. Everybody needs one of these things, man. Especially if the power goes out and it's cold. Man, you just rocking this. Just rocking it. Just rocking it. It's perfect. It's perfect in the spring and the fall. Well, it's great in the winter when you're got an extra chill in there, but you just throw this thing on and nobody knows what you got on underneath. If anything. Moving forward. I think I might make this the last video that I've got for politics. I've got some other shit that I want to do. And I want to have some laughs. But this is Polyev talking about Carney and our lack of trade. I mean, like, you would think. I watched a video. Sorry, I had a puff. I'm a space cadet. Hoekstra from the States. And he's the U.S. ambassador to Canada. And he's like saying, like, Canada has not come to the bargaining table since October. So, like, all this elbows up and all this bullshit has gotten us nowhere. You know, Carney got elected on saying he's the only one that could get us a deal. He didn't get us a deal when he promised. And actually the tariffs doubled. And then he turns around and says, oh, we got the best deal of everybody on planet Earth. But still says, you know, it's not a good deal. And then the next day it is a good deal. Then it's not a good deal. Then it's the best deal. I don't know what it is, but ain't nobody been really negotiating. And I'm not sure if this guy really wants to negotiate or not. So here's my guy, Pierre.
This is a Forum Daily Update. Pierre Poilievre is taking aim at the Liberal government's handling of the Canada-U.S. trade dispute, saying the results so far have fallen short and Prime Minister Mark Carney is losing the trade war. Speaking to reporters Tuesday after Carney unveiled a new trade advisory council, which includes several prominent conservatives, Poilievre argued the Liberals promised to resolve tensions with the United States during the last election campaign, but says there's been little progress so far.
Nobody knows Mark Carney's plan. Probably not even him. He hasn't even told us whether he wants to renew USMCA. And if he doesn't, okay, tell us how he's going to replace the $600 billion of exports. Tell the 2.6 million Canadians who rely on trade with the US where their jobs are going to come from. So far, he hasn't done any of that. We're a year into this. He was elected on the single promise that he would negotiate a win with the US. And since that time, he's been losing. Double the tariffs on steel and aluminum, triple the tariffs on lumber, broadening of tariffs out to other products that weren't formerly covered. And he's done nothing to stop it other than wave the white flag.
Join me on weekdays for more news on Forum Daily.
Well, it's kind of like I just penned it. Okay, moving forward, I got just one more video on politics. I'm sorry. Well, this this is more Shaner the taxpayer than it is a rant. I don't know what I'm doing, but thanks for putting up with me. This is a video from Miss Jasmine Lane, who is a very smart lady. I wish I had the brains and the verbal communication that she does. Let's give her a listen.
Remember when Donald Trump said that he was going to put tariffs on the Canadian economy and Canada immediately erupted with anti-Americanism, our sovereignty, elbows up, screw you, Trump, we're not going to travel there anymore, yada, yada, yada. Fair enough. Okay, sure. However, can you explain this to me then? So the EU, which has a carbon border adjustment mechanism where right now they're in the reporting phase, right? But they are going to, at some point, if you are not a net zero aligned country, be introducing a tariff on goods that enter their country from you, your trade with them. Okay, so how exactly does it make sense that when Donald Trump, who represents 75% of our economy in America, puts tariffs on Canada, that Canada says, screw you, we're done with you, we're over it, buddy. But then when the EU introduces CBAM, they introduce the carbon adjustments, which are a tariff, Canada says, you know what, that's the way that the world is going, and we are going to make sure that we restructure our entire economy. We are going to hinder our industries. We are going to invest trillions of taxpayer dollars into projects to decarbonize our oil for carbon capture, yada, 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 just so that we can trade with you tariff-free. When the EU represents 4% of our trade. Can somebody just make that make sense to me? Because I'm pretty sure that tariffs were the whole reason why we're mad at Trump. Just, can you help me with that? Because it does not compute. Remember when Donald Trump said that he was going...
Somebody remind me never to piss that lady off. She'd just rip you a new one. Actually, I gave her credit on her Facebook and recently on Twitter just the other day. She's one of the voices that led me to start doing a daily devotional to the Lord. Yeah, why not? Why not start my day off doing that? Doesn't mean I am my day doing that, but start my day in the right direction anyways. Gives me a good shot. Alright, now we're moving in a totally different direction. Heading into the pro wrestling stuff. I saved a clip that I've been meaning to watch. I know what kind of happens, but I didn't really watch it. I've been meaning to watch it cold, live on the show. And here we go. So this is, what is this show? Good Morning Football with Kyle Brandt, Adrian Hernandez. I don't know what the hell this is all about. But Seth freaking Rollins from the WWE is a guest on the show, and he ends up walking off somehow. And apparently there's been a lot of stuff going on between NFL players and WWE wrestlers on social media, like who's tougher. I don't know. It's a thing. I'm barely aware of it. So let's see what this how this goes.
To dignify this question, NFL at 42 versus wrestling at 30. NFL at 32 is more impressive than wrestling at 39. NFL at 22, and Manti, you're trying to be gracious. The wrestlers can't do, the NFL guys can't do what some of the wrestlers can. Any 7th round pick tonight can go off the top rope. They can do that stuff. And by the way, half the roster set is like in the late 30s, early 40s. NFL at 42 is like Ric Flair in his bleeping 60s. We're talking about a real sport, not predetermined, big time hits, 22 people. I figured out what it is with Seth. I just figured it out.
What did you figure out?
I figured it out. You're a little nervous because it's night 1 of the draft, and you know that next year you'll be night 1 only at WrestleMania, and there's a symmetry there for you, and I think I finally tapped into it. You got us together. Do you need to take a walk? We can go get Gunther and make you take a walk if you want to. Like, it's up to you.
Did someone talk to you on the plane, Kyle? What is going on right now?
You know what? I don't. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't really appreciate it. So
don't appreciate.
I don't have to do this. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be on your show.
You don't want to be here?
No, I do want to be here, but not when I'm treated like this. I don't have to do this. Like, I don't have to. You know what? You want to steal every segment. You want to steal all the show. That's your thing.
Why don't you steal when I'm waiting for you?
I'm leaving right now, and you can have the segment so you don't have to look at me.
If you're going to go,
you don't have to compete with me anymore, if that's how you do that.
All right, but
you can do the rest of the show on your own.
Maybe we can get Becky to come in and actually win something for us. That's how it works for you guys. So maybe she can do a segment.
All right.
I mean, am I wrong? He's taking his earpiece off. What are you doing?
I told you can do the rest by yourself. You can do the rest by yourself.
Oh, thank God. Finally.
The rest by yourself.
This is going worse than you and Paul Heyman. Finally. Take the towel. Take your phone. Don't just disrespect the towel. You can just... Stop. Wow. He's actually walking off. All right, wait. Come on. Finish the segment.
It's been a long morning, all right? You do your thing.
You think it's long for you? I've been sitting here trying to make TV. All right. Morgan Morning Football.
Wow. I don't know who that asshole is. I don't know what happened to the fuzzy thing on the end of my microphone either. Who's that asshole? He totally disrespected Seth. Was he trying to go wrestling school? That didn't make sense. I'd walk off too. I was being an asshole. I think the guy was making it about himself, not about Seth. You see, all these celebrity kind of people want to get themselves into the wrestling game because it gives them a wider audience, kind of like Pat McAfee, but I don't know who this douche is. Next up, I got a video of a scary bump, as they call it in wrestling, or a botch, when somebody does a wrestling move and they screw it up royally. Well, this one is from Io Sky, a Japanese wrestler who she's done this one too many times to herself. I'll show it and then I'll comment. Let's go. Watch this. It's unbelievable how she even walked away from this. Dunk. Dunk. Oh my definitely rung her bell, but she could have killed herself right there. Now, that's scary as hell. And why? Okay, first of all, that's not the first time. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. It's not the fourth time. It's not even the fifth time that she has done something like this. So, like, maybe it's time she doesn't do shit like this. I appreciate everything that the wrestlers do for our entertainment. You know, it's predetermined. The word fake, I know, all that stuff. Okay, tell me this is fake. Where is it? Dunk. Good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, she's going to feel that in a few years. You feel that with one time. She's done this multiple times. It makes you wonder, like, why they do this to themselves. Yeah, just a regular match is fine, but trying to do these ultimate stunts is unbelievable. And is the risk worth the reward? And she's not alone. Everybody does this. Everybody does this move just about in every match. So it's not like it's something just spectacular for one person. They all do it, and it's like Russian roulette if you make it or not. One last time. One last time. God. She doesn't know where she is. Oh, Lord. Yeah, finish me, pin me, end this match. She's done. Oh. And we're back. The next wrestling clip I have is from NXT, WWE's third-ranked show, NXT. Though this is really hard to watch. This is Sol Ruca going through tables from way up high. And this is not pretty.
Looks like Sol Ruca might have hurt herself on that fall. After the chaos of the last woman standing match, Sol was left laid out in the wreckage of broken tables after a brutal finish. Watching the replay in slow motion makes it even worse. Her head appears to smash right into the edge of the second table. A terrifying moment to cap off what's been an incredible NXT run for Sol Ruca, hoping it's not as bad as it looked. Looks like Sol Ruca might have hurt herself on that fall. After the chaos of the last woman standing match, Sol was left laid out in the wreckage of broken tables after a brutal finish. Watching the replay in slow motion makes it even worse. Her head appears to smash right into the edge of the second table. A terrifying moment to cap off what's been an incredible NXT run for Sol Ruca.
Once again, risk versus reward. Now, the only thing that might have saved her on that was that she put her arms out to kind of break the fall before her head, which could have killed her arms in the process, but it might have helped her not break her neck. My God, I love wrestling, but please, guys, don't do this stuff. It's not necessary. We don't need it. Didn't need it back 40 years ago. Just tell a simple story. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. We don't need this. We don't need people. Like, you can't go a single show without somebody going through a table, somebody going through the announcer's desk, somebody getting hit by a chair. It's just like non-stop. And it's like you're disappointed almost if somebody doesn't get clobbered. All right, moving forward. It's Mr. Roper time. It's everybody's favorite time of the show. All right, strap in, folks. Here we go. I saw a lady at the gym riding an exercise bike wearing a helmet. So I put on a life jacket and hopped on the rowing machine next to her. Oh, this is stupid, this one. Some people pick their nose. I was just born with mine. Sorry, smoker's cough. When I was a kid, my parents always fed me alphabet soup. They said I loved it, but really, they were just putting words in my mouth. Okay, hold on. Let me get this ready. No, not that one. Where's... Okay, we're ready. We're ready for this next joke. Are you ready? Strap in, folks. I had to fire my lawn guy. He just didn't cut it. Okay. This might be a good one. This will be the last one. On our way home last night, my wife said, let's stop and visit my brother Nicholas. So we took the scenic route. Oh, hold on. That's both. I give it a boo because the joke was good, but my comedic timing was really bad on that. I'm awful. And we're back, and I'm just sitting here, sitting by the fire, just trying to relax, calm down from all this excitement. You know, please leave some comments, hit like and share. And, I would love to hear some feedback on any of the old podcasts, this new one. If you have anything that you'd like to submit and think I should talk about, I'm open to anything. I'm going to talk about just about anything on this podcast. It could be groceries, it could be anything. Whatever I feel like, damn it, it's my show. So, but truly, you know, if you're gonna send me on a wild goose chase about this, that, the other thing, and like, you know, hold on, I gotta put it on pause. I got an important text. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you're gonna send me stuff about like conspiracy theories and things that you think I should look into, at least give me something to look at. Like, don't say, hey, look into so-and-so. And I spent hours looking into shit, and like, there's nothing to find. I don't need to waste my time. I got enough stuff enough content that I can do. Don't waste my time. You got something to say it. But most of the time, I see people on my Facebook that got something to say and are all changing their names. People are afraid to use their own real names nowadays. So people are afraid to speak up. People are afraid to speak out. Like, don't make it about me to find out what's in your head. If you got something to say it. If you don't want to be known, well, I won't say your name, but like, don't make me fucking guess about it. Stupid. Anybody is welcome to come on this and say whatever they want. Whether I agree with it or not, I've got questions to ask. And I've got an open mind. But, you know, don't just put something out there into the universe and expect me to jump through hoops on things. I'm not doing it. I'm certainly not going out of my way to bury anybody. So say it's a town council person or a mayor or regional person. If you've got information that you want to share it. Otherwise, shut up. Anyways, moving on. Thank you all for watching whatever this is and whatever it will become. You are a dynamite audience and you deserve to give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. Please hit like, subscribe, and please leave some comments. I don't even know if anybody's really watching, or you just click on it to say that you clicked on it, which I appreciate too. Give me 1 million of those, I might make a penny. Take care, God bless, and all that jazz.